It is the big ticket himself, Walt Harris, who after 2 years away is on the verge of stepping back into the UFC cage. So, Walt, just talk to me a little bit couple weeks out. How are we feeling right now?
Man, I'm feeling primed and ready, man. I'm about overtraining camp. I'm ready to get in there and do my thing.
I love it, man. Well, it's exciting to have you back. Let me ask you, I mean, 2 years away, was that a conscious decision to step away and say, I need that time to reset, or did things, just kind of play out that way? Talk to me about this time away.
It was kind of a conscious decision, man. I spoke with Dana. I spoke with Hunter, Mick, and it was just kind of a thing where I needed to kind of reset. Like you said, I needed to take a break and kind of go back to the drawing board, get some things in order outside of the cage, and get healthy, man, mentally and physically. I'm ready, man. I'm back.
Yeah, you certainly deserve that time away. I mean, obviously, what you and your family went through was pretty incomprehensible for most people. So I always wondered about that. I mean, obviously, it's a tough thing to talk about, Walt, but you fought 3 times, kind of in the aftermath. And I wonder, in retrospect, was that almost a mistake to be fighting then, or did you need fighting to keep yourself, I guess, normal as you can be?
Uh, yeah, I mean, at the time, that's what I thought I needed to do. I don't regret fighting. I look at it, as at the time I was in the headspace where I needed something to kind of distract me almost. And I felt like fighting was the way to go. Physically, I was everywhere I needed to be, but mentally, I just wasn't. And now I'm healthy mentally, man. I feel better all the way around the board, man. So I'm excited to show the new and improved big ticket.
I love it, man. It looked like during the time away, you did stay around the sport, though, right? I mean, you were cornering and training and helping people out. So, I mean, did you still have love for the sport, or were you burned out from it, or what was the time away like?
I'll be quite honest. The first year, I wasn't sure if I was gonna come back. I was just in kind of a place where it was like, man, I don't know if I'm mentally ready to keep going and keep going through that grind. And then, about a year and a half in, I started to get an itch, and I was like, man. And it's crazy, kind of how it happened because I had started working helping my buddy at one of his shops, and I just one week woke up and I was like, bro, I don't know what's going on, man, but I feel like I need to get a fight lined up. So I put a picture out just as like, a joke. And I put under construction, and everybody was like, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. He's getting back. And then like the next, like later that day, John called me and was like, bro, you down to come to New Mexico and train for 2 months? And I was like, man, I got to be honest, I ain't in shape right now. He's like, it don't matter, bro. We'll get you in shape just when you want to leave. And that Tuesday, I was out, bro.
Wow. What was that experience like? I mean, obviously, Jon Jones, I mean, in my mind, greatest of all time, you know what I mean? And, and,
Unbelievable.
and what he did at heavyweight was just unbelievable. So, what was that like, just being around Jon and being in camp with him?
Man, we've always been good friends, man. But just spending that camp time with him when he's in that fight mode, man, it rubs off on you, bro. He trains, and his mindset is that of a champion. I mean, that's why he is what he is. The way he approaches the sport, the way he approaches practice, the way he approaches our downtime. Like I took so much from that, not just actually training with him, but just his mindset, man. It's elite, bro.
That's incredible. And I guess was that kind of an inspiration to you to be like, all right, hold on, now I've seen this. I've seen what it's like at the very pinnacle. I got to replicate that in some way as much as you can.
100%, bro. Like it gave me so much confidence just learning from him, taking different moves, and being athletic and being able to kind of mimic what he does and try to simulate some of that on a day-to-day basis. It was awesome, man. It was just one of those things where I was like, man, I'm ready to fight. So the day of his fight, I put a tweet out to try to get Derek Lewis to see if he wanted to fight International Fight Week, and because I was so pumped up, man, I was feeling so good. I never heard really anything back from that, and then like a few months later, we got to fight with Josh Parisian. So I'm ready to go, bro.
That's awesome. So what was that process like? I mean, first there's a social media post under construction, then you're in a Jon Jones training camp, and you're like, I'm ready to fight. And then there's a little bit. How did it get to like, okay, now we actually got to fight and let's go?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy because I was sitting here. I think like a month had gone by, and I still wasn't hearing nothing back on the Derek Lewis front. So I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. And then out of the blue, my manager hit me up and was like, Josh Parisian, July 15th. And I was like, man, it's not quite what I wanted, but it's a week later. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good comeback fight for me. It's just a good situation, man. It's at a perfect time for me mentally. Like I said, I'm just in a place, man. I'm at a peace right now, bro. I don't think I've ever experienced it to this point in my career. Even when I was in the top 10, I never felt comfortable, like I feel right now. I just feel I'm deadly, man. I saw something the other day on Instagram that said a peaceful warrior is dangerous, and that's how I feel right now, man. I'm a beautiful peace, a beautiful space right now.
I love that. What a great way to say it. All right, talk to me about Josh Parisian. I mean, I got a feeling right now you don't care who's on the other side of the cage, you're just ready to get in there. But what do you think about him? I mean, are you breaking him down? Are you studying him? Or is there anything he
Oh yeah.
does that concerns you?
Oh yeah, that's another thing I took from Jon, just his study habits. The way he had us prepare for fights. We would take notes, like we would bring notebooks to practice. So I've taken and implemented some of that into my own training camp. I'm really digesting Josh Parisian, and I never really done that in my career. I never really took time to just really focus in on guys because I always want to kind of not cloud my mind with what they do and have them worry about what I do. But Bones's approach to it is to digest them and not to know the monster. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. To get familiar with the monster. So I know everything about Josh Parisian from what he ate damn near last night. So I'm just in a space, like I said, where I'm just focused, man. I'm locked in every way, shape, and form, man. And I'm ready for Josh Parisian. I know he's tough. He's a game opponent, but like you said, you can put anybody in front of me. You can put Godzilla over there, man. I'm going to try to take him out.
That's amazing. I love that you soaked that in from Jon. Jon is just almost like petty in the way he studies everything, right? Like he knows.
Bro, it is, bro. You said it perfect. He is petty. He is Mr. Petty. I call him petty all the time, bro. He is so meticulous, and it's almost like he takes offense to guys being good at things, and he wants to prove that he's better. And we even had that conversation in camp. I'll never forget it. It was like the second week of camp, third week of camp. And I had been breaking down Cyril for so long because I'm a fan of the sport, so I knew
Right.
Cyril's game inside and out. And I just told Jon, I said, man, I know how you are, bro. You're very egotistical and you're very petty. Do not go in here and try to kickbox with this dude. And he's like, why you say that, Tegan? And I'm like, first of all, you're going up to heavyweight, bro. It's a whole different ball game. One strike can change the momentum, bro. And you never know. And I said, secondly, look at his Cyril Gane and Ngannou fight. Ngannou out wrestled him. What do you think you could do when you put your hands on him? And he was like, and Greg Jackson looked at me and goes, thank you all. I've been saying it the whole time. Finally, he's going to listen to somebody else, but and he listened. And I told him I hate to toot my own horn, but I predicted the fight to a T. I told him, I said, bro, he's going to come out and throw something hard from the left side. It's going to either be a kick or it's going to be a left hand. All you got to do is slip it, grab him like we've been training, take him down and submit him, and we can get out of here and go hang out. And that's what he did, man.
That is awesome. It's funny because you talk to so many fighters who are like, "No, I don't really like to watch tape on my opponent because it gets in my own head, or I don't want to worry about too much." But that always strikes me as a little bit foolish. Like, I understand you may be a great athlete, and a fight is a fight, and anything can happen. But gosh, it seems to me if you're going to get in there, you need to arm yourself with as much knowledge as you possibly can. Is that a mistake you think a lot of fighters make?
It is a big mistake. It's a mistake I've made. Where you kind of what the person you're fighting is good at, but you may not be up to date on their latest fight or some tendencies. And I think that's more so what Jon watches fights for, and what he was trying to implement and tell me was, it's about the tendencies. It's about seeing habits. He was like, fighters can get better, but you have tendencies. I mean, it's just the way it is. We're programmed. And I think that's the beauty of it, and we really saw the tendencies in Cyril. And then it was amazing to see him go out there, to see the tendencies play out like we thought, and then him go do exactly what we trained to do. It's just like, man, that's when you got a really heady fighter with a high IQ.
Absolutely phenomenal. All right, well, let's talk about you get back here. Give me the expectations, Walt. I mean, you were ready to go again. Is this let's go in there, see how we feel? Am I good, or is this like let's start a run back to the top 10? I mean, what are your plans?
Honestly, like my focus isn't it's on being the best, of course. I don't you don't do this to just be average, but my focus is being the best me now. It used to be about the number beside my name. It used to be about paydays and trying to, do all of that. But I want to fight good fights. I want to fight the good fighters, the best fighters. And I want to take these next 2 years and try to see what I can do with it. If that's a run to the title, then we'll see what happens. But I want to be in entertaining and exciting fights, and I want to go out with a bang. You know what I mean? I want everybody to remember me on top. I don't want people to look at me and say, "Well, man, Walt was on his way, and then X, Y, and Z happened in his life." I want people to see like, man, you can really make it back from the worst to the worst in your life. And I think that's what I'm out to prove. That's what is more important to me now at this stage of my career.
I love it, man. That's so well said. Well, you laid out Jon Jones' fight to a T. Can you lay yours out to a T? Do you know Josh Parisian enough that you know how this thing is gonna go?
Man, I look at it one of two ways, man. It's either gonna be a quick dramatic finish, which is always how I try to see it going, or it's gonna be me beating him up for 3 rounds. I got a lot of tricks in my bag now that we've been honing and working on over those 2 years, 3 years, that I really haven't gotten a chance to show the world, man. I got so much in my bag. People know me as a knockout artist, but I can grapple, man. I can submit you if it comes down to it. And if the fights have never gotten there, or I've been in a situation to where I was on the short end of the stick because I wasn't fully me. But I think the guy that you're gonna see come July 15th, man, it's gonna be a thing where the heavyweight's gonna be like, oh man, this dude, he back. You know what I mean? I feel like it's really gonna be one of them nights. It's gonna be special.
I love it. Well, Walt, man, it's great to see you in good spirits again. It's great to see you getting back into the octagon. We look forward to July 15th. We look forward to you being in there once again, and be watching.
Yes, sir, man. It's always good to see you, brother. I can't wait to see you in Vegas, man.